Hello, folks. So we continue with a series on each planet in different rashis, different zodiac signs, and what it means for you. So today we're going to speak about Jupiter's placement in your chart. Yeah, let's get into this. So what is Jupiter anyway? Let's try to understand this first. It's the highest knowledge, divine knowledge, and wisdom. That which helps us transcend, basically, our karmic bondages and our material duties. It's Jeev Karaka, Jeev meaning life. So it's the place where we feel alive, where our natural skill and talent lies. Jupiter signifies faith, devotion. Ether is the element associated with Jupiter for this reason, which is space. It's that which we cannot surmise, right? But there's a sense of something is out there. An invisible hand, a higher power. Faith in that which we cannot see, basically. That is what Jupiter personifies. With a dignified Jupiter placement, there's a feeling that all that is happening is for my best and it's for my highest good. So irrespective of what happens to you, toward you, whether it's life circumstances or it's through other people, there is a deep feeling, a deep resonance that everything is happening for my highest good and everything is happening for my benefit somehow. Yeah. So there's a feeling of protection from the divine, from the universe. You feel protected in that way. If you don't have a well-placed Jupiter, you can feel insecure about your life path and your destiny and your purpose. Other significations, of course, for Jupiter include children, husband for women, guru, father. These are the life significations. And of course, wealth, right? Wealth we also see with Jupiter's placement. It's wisdom. It's faith. It's the guiding light. Jupiter's placement in our chart is where we see our Purva Punya, which is the rewards of our past life good deeds, our good karma coming to fruition. The rewards for that good karma. It's a place where we see the manifestation of luck, opportunity, without making much of an effort. Right? It's the luck factor. There are blessings and expansion in this area of life. Now, whether you're going to use these gifts for the good or for completely selfish gains depends highly on what is going on in the D9 as well, right? So see also Jupiter's placement in the D9 to understand it better. The best placement for Jupiter are the water signs. This can, however, the water sign is the most dignified placement, but when it comes to the life significations, it can delay matters. Like it can cause delay in marriage. It can cause dissatisfaction in marital relationship. Though it is likely to give a good family life, a ritualistic marriage, if it's a very dignified placement. But not necessarily the sensuous pleasure, right? Because that's not Jupiter's agenda. Yeah. So the essence of Jupiter is not so sensual and material pleasure. In fact, the essence of, even if you talk about Jyotish, the essence of Jyotish, it's often translated as the science of light, right? You must have heard that before. But actually, the Ish in Jyotish, that means God. So in fact, we're back to faith rather than science. If someone asks for something related to where Jupiter sits in your chart, a good remedy here. If someone asks for something related to where Jupiter is sitting in your chart, you should give this freely. Right? So like it's sitting in Scorpio, occult knowledge. You should give that freely. As that's the moral test, and it will strengthen your Jupiter. When looking at Jupiter's placement, look at the D1 and the D9, as I mentioned. The D9 is the evolved, the purest vibration of your Jupiter, and D1 is how it has manifested in the material world. So let's talk about each of those placements. If your Jupiter is sitting in Aries, this is a good position for Jupiter because the trine from Aries is Sagittarius. Right? Which is its Multrikon sign. It's also in its friend's sign, Mars, and has a natural harmony with fire signs. This placement is akin to Jupiter in the first house. Jupiter here is about self-improvement. It's justice loving. It's taking a stand for others. With this Jupiter, you want a power position and you want to be respected. Since that first house Garaka is Sun. You enjoy status, you enjoy power. Of course, there's Martian energy here, right? Jupiter in Aries, so it can make you a little bit dominating. See where Mars and Sun is in your chart to understand how that's going to play out, right? And to understand how well this placement will work. You're good at coaching. You're good at inspiring others to improve their life position. You can be a little bit preachy. You can be a little bit forceful at times as well. You're energetic, fast learner, impatient, quick. And as I mentioned, you like power positions. You're direct, straightforward, independent in your views, and you're fearless. You're also a fighter. You're optimistic, you're a problem solver, and you're a good entrepreneur as well. You can find opportunities where others don't see them. And you will take a chance. Again, it depends on Mars's placement to see how it's working out. There's a sense of me, myself, and I, though, with the Jupiter in Aries, which comes from that Mars rulership of Aries, right? It makes you individualistic. And if it's afflicted, you can be quite selfish, right? You will stand out in some way. You can be tall with this placement. You'll be well versed in various activities. Could be sports, fitness, nutrition, wellness. And here you can also have a youthful appearance. Whether it is in the way that you present yourself, it could be your dress, it could be your style. If you're a woman, the type of spouse you are attracting is someone who is active, possibly into physical activity like hiking and camping, outdoorsy. And there would be like an innocence to this man as well. They would have like an innovative streak, an independent streak, and they might be very different in their views from others. And sometimes it's just to stand out. Right? They will be confident. They will be supportive toward their partners and loyal as well. Yeah. So, what if you have Jupiter in Taurus? This is, of course, an enemy sign for Jupiter, right? Because he doesn't regard Venus as friend. Reason being that Jupiter's guru signifies knowledge, spirituality, our connection with the divine. It's the ether element, which is faith, which is higher power, which is higher learning. And Venus's agenda is material comforts, luxury, beauty, attraction, of course, procreation as well. And it's the Jal Tattva, it's the water element. Right? Jupiter's Mool Trikone is also 8 signs away from Taurus. Yeah. Sagittarius. So here there can be sudden reversals in business. Family issues can spring out of nowhere at times. Yeah. Money can also be, you will be secure in life, but you can see reversals at times. Like money was coming in, but then it's not. Or out of nowhere, money comes, like that kind of thing. Test of faith can therefore come from this placement. And due to this, you may lose your dharmic path in life, right? There's less focus on doing the right thing. There's more on like quick gratification with this placement, right? In Taurus, Jupiter loses some of its innate qualities, its dharmic qualities. The spiritual affinity that is most easily expressed in water and fire signs isn't present here in Taurus. In an earth sign, especially being that it's Venus's sign, Jupiter's expression instead can be more money focused, right? With less regard for morals and principles, resulting in greed, right? Here you can be astute about financial issues, especially knowing how to save money, how to grow money. Your earnings and thereby your family status increases with time. You'll take responsibility for your family, for your lineage. It makes you diplomatic in speech, this placement. And you can have a knack for cultivating relationships. You can be good with singing, with cooking. You can have a taste for luxuries, including food and jewelry. And in fact, you do tend to place importance on pleasure seeking with this placement of Jupiter, no doubt. This Jupiter makes you a good speaker, good with the public. You're someone who knows what others want. And perhaps this can also make you skilled with social media. Right? For women, you can find a husband that's a good provider. Right? One who can offer stability, security. You can be in the fields of banking, finance, for example. Gemini, Jupiter and Gemini. This is Mercury's house. And Mercury is not in harmony with Jupiter. Gemini tends to be connected to short-term ideas and therefore is good for marketing, sales, writing. Whereas Jupiter is synonymous with higher knowledge, long-term ideas rather than short-term, religion, spirituality, right? And Jupiter also in the 3rd house is Maranakarkastan, as this is the house of courage, initiative. So Jupiter here is not performing in its highest vibration. Duality exists with this placement in your life and nature. This placement can at times give 2 marriages, owing again to the dual nature of Gemini. It does give you a youthful appearance. It also gives you like a very youngish vibe, irrespective of your appearance. And you're savvy. This placement makes you very clever, and you're good at dealing with people, which is the case with all of the air sign Jupiter placements. Um, you can be gossip orientated though at times, and you're always making new connections, new friends with this placement. You tend to have a multitude of skills. You're good at talking, but are less inclined to be a good listener. You can be fickle also with this placement, and you can change your mind quickly. Anxiety and stress can be felt with this placement, and you get easily agitated and stirred up by others. Right? So, what else? You're good at multitasking, and this can at times lead you to have like more on your plate than you can handle. Right? Adding to that stress level, adding to the anxiety. It is, however, as I mentioned, a good placement for a writer. You can be skilled with writing, teaching. You can be a good lawyer as well with this placement. You can be entrepreneurial in nature and have good luck in business pursuits. If there's a retrograde Jupiter here, then the sexual orientation can be confused. Like it could also be bisexual or gay. You have to see like other factors to support this though. Definitely. It's not something that I like to kind of look at in a chart because it's very, very difficult to make a conclusion on that, just looking at a chart. This Jupiter placement can help you change your destiny. It will help you take the initiative, right? Because it's sitting in the third house, the natural third house. Changing your luck is in your hands with this placement, which is lovely. Of course. It's also like seventh from its move trigon. So you can experience luck through others. Having those connections. You know, luck can come through others. Luck can open up for you through others. Your destiny can open up. If you're a woman, the husband can be like a media person. Perhaps they're into journalism, writing, communication profession, teacher. The person will be adaptable. He could be changeable more than you like. He will value friendship and camaraderie in the relationship, which is of course a great thing. So what if you have Jupiter in Cancer? This is of course Jupiter's exalted state, right? It's the only planet actually that gets exalted in 8th sign from its moon trigon, which is Sagittarius. This doesn't apply to any other planet. Transformation through spiritual growth and healing can be seen with this placement. So this is the real vibration of Jupiter coming alive. The essence of Jupiter, Jupiterian qualities, which again, as I said, in water signs is where it comes alive. Jupiter is the guiding light here. So when you feel lost, providing guidance to others as well when you're suffering. And it will come back multitude to you. Cancer is, of course, the sign of emotions, and this placement gives you a clean heart. It makes you generous. It makes you giving. It makes you nurturing and supportive toward loved ones. This placement makes you selfless, and you will go above and beyond family and loved ones. There is domestic harmony. There is domestic peace with an exalted Jupiter. This placement can make you a natural teacher, caretaker, poet. A poet. A knack for understanding emotions, yours and others. You're a natural healer. And this placement will give you very, very strong intuitive powers as well. It can very easily take you towards moksha, towards liberation, especially if you find a guru. It's in a moksha house, right? Anyway. Guru can accelerate your spiritual growth and life path with this placement. Jupiterian traits will make you feel nourished. Learning about philosophy, religion, esoteric subjects, being a helping hand, being charitable, being a teacher, an advisor. All of these things will lift you up. This can make children a blessing for you, actually. And even though you might not be inclined toward marriage with this placement, right? And in fact, you may not. You may be a bit neglectful of your spouse here. Because like dignified, as I mentioned, dignified Jupiter placements do bring delays, certainly delays and blocks to marriage. And even more so if it's in a water sign. Because what is water? It's moving towards moksha, right? The dharmic quality of Jupiter here will take you to higher path, divine path, and marriage is something that would like disrupt that path, right? That's the other reasoning behind it. So your natural tendency may not be toward marriage. You can easily find good advice and follow it with this placement. You're attached to your home country, culture, background. Having a big home surrounded by supportive people and good food is something that you can easily access with this placement. Close connections with a mother figure or mother figures in your life is present. And in fact, she may be a teacher to you. You may consider her a good teacher. You will be able to have all the comforts in life with this placement. Living near a water body is actually very good for you. It can bring peace, harmony. This placement also gives very pleasant travel. Cancer Jupiter can give you a foreign residence. Your karma is connected to masses, understanding others, being nurturing, being supportive. And in fact, this Jupiter placement can make you very popular in whatever you're doing. Sought after. One of the challenges with this placement is indecisiveness. You can tend to change your mind a lot, especially when it comes to relationships. If you're female, you can attract a very kind, caring husband, and you'll often get a man who's highly spiritual and moralistic in nature. Perhaps he's well known in his community. His work connects him to common masses, maybe. Right, that could be the case. In some way, he's looking out for others. So, excellent placement. So, what if you have Jupiter in Leo? Jupiter Leo is in trine from its Mul Trikona position, so operates in its element here, right? It's a very easy environment for Jupiter, actually, to bestow its qualities. Yeah. Fifth house itself is Purva Punya, right? And that is Leo. So results of good karma. This is a good karmic placement, bringing blessings from your past. Jupiter and Leo can make you individualistic, however. You tend to reach an enlightened state if that's what you're seeking. And you can easily do so with this placement. You tend to rely on your own talents and your beliefs to navigate life. You can be popular, even famous, especially after you have a male child. That can make you very popular. Healing, education, knowledge, creativity are all heightened with this placement. It can bring some gaps. It can bring some breaks in education. It's a good position if you work with children or in some entertainment field. If this placement is working in a positive way, then you're connected to high status people. The royalty, if you will, of your society. Maybe government people, like those in authoritative positions. If it's working in a negative way, then you can run into problems with authority. You're drawn toward hills and mountains with this placement. And you tend to have a high sense of self-respect. And you tend to be upright. You tend to be righteous. You're a proud personality with this placement. And you like to be in a position of authority and you like to guide others. You can be, however, irritable when opposed, and therefore you can create enemies unnecessarily at times. You have a magnetic personality. Of course, Jupiter and Leo, right? Jupiter is going to expand those Leo qualities, certainly. And you tend to project yourself with authority in speech, in knowledge. This placement is actually also good for wealth creation. You can be a published writer, academic, teacher, scholar. Because you're creative, you can easily have your own business and can thrive here. Your status is based somewhat on your knowledge, especially traditional knowledge. It could be law, medicine. It could be Vedic sciences. It could be scriptural knowledge. Something traditional, something well established. Here you need appreciation and acknowledgement for sharing your gifts. You can be an astrologer with this placement. Excellent placement for that. Ayurvedic doctor. If you're a woman, you can get an ambitious, dominating husband. Or he can be very influential in his social circles or his career. Oh. So what if your Jupiter is in Virgo? This placement is 10th from its Mul Trikona sign. So your strength of faith can actually be disturbed here. This is true for all earth signs. When Jupiter is in an earthy sign, the natural tendency is less in philosophy and spiritual ideas, but rather more so in practical realism. So your fulfillment will come when you help to improve the physical aspects of other people's lives. This placement gives high intellect and ability to learn. You tend to be well-read, educated, and you like to come across as an authority in many subjects. You have minute eye for details and are an excellent planner and organizer. This placement can make you anxious, though, as you tend to overthink. Right? And here you can also be a perfectionist. You have a great eye for detail, something that is outside, again, of Jupiter's nature, the essence, right? This placement can make you disease prone. Right? This is the natural 6th house, and Jupiter doesn't do well here. And so it may not be like easy for you to overcome problems as well, or competition very easily. This placement makes you service orientated. Service profession would suit you very well. Anything that means being a good organizer. You tend to be drawn toward the medical and healing fields, and you can actually do quite well here, especially if Mercury is well placed. You can have more than one career in your life, and they may be completely different from each other. Right? It's a good Jupiter placement for building wealth. It's a good placement for relationships, keeping the communication open, especially if you keep the communication open. After all, it's ruled by Mercury, Virgo. And this placement for a woman, it will help you find a very practical spouse. They can be very calculating, though, critical at times as well. Peachy, sort of, right? But they're there for you when you need them. And they would be good at like DIY type of things, like a problem solver. So now, what if your Jupiter is in Libra? And Jupiter in Libra is 11th from its Mul Trikona, which is fortunate for material gains. Again, it's placed in Venus's house. This placement can make you good with people, congenial, charming. You're attractive, pleasing, magnetic. You have a curious nature, and you're skilled at seeing two sides of a story. You're good at compromise, at solving problems. You can come across, though, as self-effacing and can have a problem with being decisive. Yeah. You can be a good lawyer. You're clever in getting what you want. And here it can give you, this Jupiter placement can make you artistic and have a good eye for art and fashion and architecture, right? You also know how to combine the practical aspects with the artistic components. You'll be good at cultivating relationships, especially business relationships. And this is the case with all the Jupiter placements in air signs, particularly Libra. But you can be naive about people, right? And you don't see underneath the surface at times. You tend to attract wealth. You place an importance on money matters, similar to Taurus. You're practical in relationships, including marriage partner. You can be calculating with your affections as well. Keeping notes of the give and take between people is not particularly romantic, and you do tend to do this. Keeping score. If you're a woman with this placement, you can get like a wealthy husband. He'll be charming, he'll be good looking. Partner can be good with business. He can be a good negotiator, and he can be quite attentive toward you. Jupiter and Scorpio. So now this position is a little bit tricky. It's 12th from its multicone sign of Sagittarius. So in this way, it can destroy the significations of Sagittarius, right? Being that it's 12th from it. And therefore, you can be more like, at times you can be more self-centered rather than seeing others' welfare with this placement. Jupiter in water signs, however, as I mentioned before, is excellent, right? You're natural at teaching and preaching. You're natural at healing and nourishing others through your knowledge, especially if it's occult knowledge, with esoteric subjects, astrology. See, of course, where Mars and Ketu are placed in your chart to see how this is working. If it's dignified or if they're in a dignified or trine with Jupiter, then this is a very powerful placement. This placement gives intense emotions. It makes you full of energy, the same as like Jupiter and Aries. But your mental endurance is also strong with Jupiter in Scorpio, unlike Aries. With this placement, you're a deep thinker. You're not quick to act. Rather, you are like deliberate and you're calculating, which are Scorpio qualities, right? And then when you act, you're very decisive. You go for the plunge. Therefore, your actions seem like a surprise to others, but actually you would have spent a lot of time deliberating, right? But instead, you're coming across as secretive to others because you're not discussing those plans or ideas, right? Here you can come up with new theories and research quite easily. You can have breakthroughs. So it's very good, as I said, for occult, esoteric activities. You're natural with these subjects, and this knowledge will simply just come to you, especially if you're in your Jupiter Dasha. The other thing that I've seen with Jupiter and Scorpio is that this placement gives you great memory. Even memories of past lives is strong. As the saying goes, water has a memory, right? And fixed water has a very good memory. So here you will not forget, even when you have been, again, it's that Scorpio. You're not going to forget if you have been wronged by someone. You can comprehend subjects quite deeply, making you a natural researcher. You have a knack for seeing through people's real motives and can hold back until you know and trust others. You can be a warrior with this placement, and this placement can make you fearless. You're protective of your loved ones. Jupiter and Scorpio gives strong intelligence and ability to understand difficult subjects. It's also a good placement for money, inheriting it, making it through investments especially. The test is how much to give to others, too little or too much. Here you have to find a balance, and that can be a challenge at times. If Mars is in dignity, you'll be ethical with others' money. You'll experience a rebirth. This I've seen. You will experience a rebirth after a close person's death. Close relative, usually. And it will likely change your personality, faith, beliefs. Right? For women, you can attract secretive partners. Perhaps he may not speak much, but he ponders over matters. He can be quite emotional as well. And this placement can create a lot of attachment with the partner. It can feel like karmic debt too at times, like bondage, where you can't let go. Right? That's that Scorpio, the 8th house energy. Partner will be self-made and will bring security and safety in the partnership. The other thing I've seen is that it can give a sudden marriage, and a relationship can start very suddenly and become committed very suddenly. So, Jupiter and Sagittarius. This is an excellent position. This is Jupiter's Multrikon sign. It's Jupiter's home. It's its natural state. Sagittarius is a sign that you can actually split into two: the human side and the animal or the aggressive side. The first 10 degrees are the Multrikon, basically, personifying that human element, the human side, which is the quest for knowledge, learning of rituals, scriptures, customs, all of the ritualistic stuff that Jupiter is. The essence of Jupiter, right? Particularly in a fire sign. The aggressive side can make you very strategic, good at conquest. This actually also corresponds to Purvasha Nakshatra, which is in the second half of Sagittarius, right? It's like 13 degrees onward. So this way we can see the duality in Sagittarius. You can project this duality to others. Luck destiny favors you, and you attract good opportunities. Perhaps also because you tend to see the bright picture. You tend to be very optimistic, and you tend to see the big picture with this placement. You have natural traits like teaching, preaching, spiritual inclinations. In this way, you can be firm about your principles, your beliefs, and this can also make you religious, very ritualistic. Going to spiritual pilgrimages is beneficial. You're influenced by your family, their beliefs, traditions, and you'll follow them throughout your life. Chances of inheritance is good with this Jupiter placement. Not just money, it could be like family name. It could be goodwill, it could be artifacts, that kind of inheritance, right? Carrying on the traditions of your family in your work. You've inherited the family business, for instance. Right? You're good at negotiating with others and can be good with argumentation as well with this Jupiter placement. And this can open up many career fields for you. Foreign lands are good for you, and so is travel, and can bring many benefits. This placement, however, can make you restless. There's a tendency towards excess activity. You tend to be attached to family values, to traditions. Here you can be quite rigid about some traditions as well, and beliefs, and consider them superior to others, right? Like, I come from this family, and, we're better than, that sort of, like, that kind of thing. Or, like, these are our traditions and customs, and they, like, you're getting your sense of pride from that, which is inherited, right? Like the name, the ways of doing things, the business, whatever it is. It's a good placement for wealth, especially through education. For women, you can get a traditional husband, supportive. He can be a good advisor. He can be quite ritualistic and rigid at times, however. But he will offer like a formal type of family life. Yeah. Capricorn. For you, that Multrikon is 12 from Capricorn, right? So this position has some challenges. It brings delays in success. Definitely Jupiter and Capricorn in Saturn sign, right? With relationships, it will bring delays. In wealth creation, it will bring delays. It's a debilitated position for Jupiter, and therefore it can also cause health issues, especially with liver, diabetes, thyroid. Good remedy is actually using turmeric, and that can help immensely. Turmeric is like an activator. It's the activator for the energy of Jupiter, right? This placement can make you street smart and find opportunities that others would have missed. House of Karma, right? So Purva Punya will manifest in worldly success at some point in your life. Probably between the ages of 36 and 39, because that's Saturn's maturity. Family here can be business orientated. You may need to like take responsibilities for family members with this placement. But don't expect appreciation from them, from others, right? Like for helping them. So you probably won't get it. Jupiter here wants name and fame. You want to be noticed. This is Capricorn, after all. You're very much aware of hierarchies, social, political, and you like to work in positions that can offer power and authority. You like routine, you like stability. Success will come after the mid to late 30s, as I mentioned, where you can feel like you're getting like some return for your efforts. Because otherwise this can be a frustrating placement. It can give immense riches though in the physical world in the latter part of your life. Delays are there in formal marriage, right? So you can be in relationships, but the actual marriage contract doesn't happen until later in life. And for a woman, you can give a partner that has been married before. He'll be a provider. He'll be quite traditional. So, what if you have a Jupiter in Aquarius? Although this is not compatible energy with Jupiter's element, some astrologers actually say it's as good as exalted. I am not inclined toward that. I don't think it's as good as exalted, but certainly it can bring unexpected blessings, right? It's sitting in Rahu's house. There's a sort of blessing that Jupiter here brings just because it's just coming out of its debilitated state. And it's ready to move forward. So there's that. The momentum is there, right? So it's a good placement because it will it'll also push you to build rather than rely on luck to get you through things, which is also, I think, a plus point. Long-term planning is good with this placement. Here, Jupiter is at the peak manifestation of the air qualities, right? So you can at times get into trouble for being blunt, controversial in your speech. At times you can be inclined toward gossip. It can incline you towards social networking, however, and you can have a strong online presence with this placement. It's a great placement for having networks, good connections, friends. You can be quite popular, and you tend to be reliable in friendships. You can work in large organizations, humanitarian organizations, and you'll benefit from this. Big platforms are actually good for you to build wealth. This placement can give a good education, give skill in innovations, in technologies. Saturn's prominent here, right? So it'll make you work hard. You will have to work for the results. But its aspect is where you will see life's fruits. Wherever Jupiter is aspecting, right? It's aspecting Gemini and Libra. This placement can take you away from the mother or the motherland. You place importance on science rather than faith. So in this way, it's not a Jupiter placement that is operating in a higher vibration. If you're a woman, husband can be from a foreign background, friendship-like relationship with the spouse, which is excellent. You place importance on a marriage of equals. Efforts are required, though, to make marriage work with this placement. Jupiter in Pisces. Fantastic placement. You are intuitive, and you have the ability to access your inner world easily. that divine space, right? To get the answers that you need in life. In fact, you don't even need a guru. It's in you. You can have a rich imagination, and you're natural with spiritual practices, including meditation and retreat to access higher powers. You appreciate seclusion, solitude, nature. You're good at both traditional structured education as well as self-learning. It's an excellent position for teaching, for providing guidance to others of any kind. And this placement makes you a very good judge of character, and you can assess others very, very easily and very quickly. You have the ability to uncover people's deeper layers. And I find Jupiter in Scorpio is somewhat like this as well. This is a placement about giving, charity, generosity. And this is where happiness and fulfillment will come from. You tend to be attached with your culture, religion, and you can embrace the good bits of it. You have the ability to see the deeper facets of any situation. With this placement, you'll get good inheritance. Foreign lands can give you a lot of success, but also expenses. In fact, living outside of your home country is good for you, and it can bring you material benefits. You tend to put on weight quickly, and you can have a weakness for sweets as well. With this aspect on Virgo, it can increase obstacles in your life, debts, problems, but it also brings the wisdom to deal with all of those issues that crop up. This is a placement that makes you feel satisfied even when you don't have enough, which is excellent. Right? That's that true essence of Jupiter operating, the highest vibration, right? Basically, which is everything is happening for my good, right? So faith is strong here. Gyan, knowledge. This is your karma, right? To learn, to teach. You're emotionally sensitive, and you can be changeable as well, right? After all, it's a dual sign. You can have a good family life with this placement. If you're a woman, you'll attract a soulmate type of connection with this placement. Someone compassionate, someone understanding, but he may not be particularly practical. The partner can be spiritually inclined and would have a lot of knowledge in these subjects as well.